All right, long couple of days, going to work all day, coming home, shoveling snow for several hours, going back to work really early, coming home. I thought taking a nap would be a good idea. Now I'm just really, really tired. Off to see a play called Humans, and I'll be more on that when I get back. Alright, we're here at the Humans cast party at the Rock Bottom Brewery, one of my favorite places in Boston. And we're going to try and get some interviews with some of the cast and crew and see what their thoughts are and what things are all about. Hey, so we're here at the cast party for the Humans. It's opening at the Box Center here in Boston, and we're going to get a quick little look at some of the cast who are here. This is Daisy. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Daisy.
I'm reading our playbill.
Have you not seen it yet?
Not really.
No. All right. How long have you been with this production?
Since we started in October.
Awesome. And how many cities have you guys hit?
We're on 6.
6?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Where are you after this? After Boston, you go to, do you know?
We're going home and then Des Moines.
Right. We go home, we have a break, and then we go to Des Moines.
Wow, awesome. So, how you liking Boston so far? Were you being hospitable?
Well, I was snowed into my hotel room for a day, but it's great. I love it.
Did you have a show yesterday?
No, our show got canceled.
Your show got canceled?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm glad I was coming today. This
me
was press
too.
day, so yeah, I remember saying if it was yesterday, I probably would have missed it. All right, so over here we have Louis.
Luis, hi.
All right, how's it going? All right. Where are you from originally?
I was born in New York and raised in South Jersey. Puerto Rico, very briefly.
Oh, okay, wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Bounced around a lot.
You've been with this production from the beginning as well? So
Yes.
It's been since October?
We've been making it out since October.
Wow, okay.
Glad.
So how's that been? Hopefully you don't have like significant others that are jealous?
We do. Well,
Both do, but they both know one another. Everybody's met.
yeah, everyone's cool.
The very understanding that, okay, it's just sort of like this acting thing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Very good. All right, well, thank you very much. Appreciate it. We're going to come over to this side of the table. What's your role in the production?
Hi, I'm Denise, and I understudy the role of Deirdre.
Oh, okay, excellent.
So I hang around in case somebody gets sick.
And she's amazing.
Oh, okay, good. Wow.
Very sweet to say so.
Do they do A and B cast, or is it always the same cast?
It's
Just
always the
understudies?
same cast. We're just here if something were to happen.
Not
if
bad.
If somebody got sick or couldn't make the show for some reason, I'm there.
But the best part is you get to come out and party with everybody.
It's the best, and they pay me. They
all
pay
right.
me to know the role. Hey, I'm traveling with a great company here. And Jada, I get to hang with Jada.
What is your role in all this?
I'm the assistant electrician.
Okay, great. Sounds good. So you're one of the people that makes all the lights happen. This is an interesting production because, like, you had to make lights not happen in a lot of ways.
That's mostly what it is. Yeah.
Okay, wow, cool. All right, well, thank you guys very much.
Thank you, Matt.
We're going to wander around. This will be up on my
You should
vlog
hit
probably by
Suzanne
tomorrow.
while you're here, Matt. This
Suzanne?
Is the shopping cart lady. And
Oh, okay.
thank you. That was
But we don't want to give away too much, but
She and I.
you do.
Joined at the hip.
Oh,
We
okay.
did in New York together.
Okay, I'll definitely go over and talk to Lauren. I will. So
She's right there.
sure. Well, maybe well, let's pivot over to there, and I'm going to take my program and my beer. Thank
Bye,
you very
Matt.
much.
Lovely chatting
We'll keep
with you.
talking with you guys. Hi. So I got invited over to speak with you. I want to say I just saw The Humans, and I really had a wonderful time and was really impressed with your performance.
Thank you.
So yeah, I do have some questions for you though, because I have to tell you that I had a few family members that were
that went through dementia in their old age, my older aunts especially. So did you do any kind of studying for that in order to prepare for this role, where you were playing a person who wasn't even, like really there and in in the like you're not in the moment like an actor is? So
I didn't when I studied and looked at other Alzheimer's or dementia patients. My director said, no, too much, too much. He wanted less. He wanted it to be something else, and so I had to throw out most of what I thought I was discovering. And then I remembered some friends of mine that I had visited in nursing homes, and it's not hard to remember that. It sticks with you,
Wow, I'm impressed by that. You're almost kind of like saying you're making it sound easy, but I was very impressed by your performance. I don't think that was an easy thing to pull off.
Ultimately, I watched babies.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Babies, real babies, like a year old, less than a year old.
Wow.
Real babies, because they're in the world of just sensory. It's about me, kind of thing.
Now, I'll say that I felt what was the most impressive part of this performance was the scene where you were kind of struggling with Eric, like as your son, and it didn't seem like forced or faked. Were you coached, or was that something you two came up with together?
No, we just did it.
Wow. Wow, it was very impressive.
I had done it with the fellow that played it on Broadway, and then when Richard took over, we found our own dance.
It was really good.
All right, quick thoughts on Humans down at the Box Center. It's going to be playing at the Box Center between now and the end of March. I think it's March 25th. So go check them out. It was a modern drama in the vein of Long Day's Journey into Night or Death of a Salesman. So for those of you that know the classics of drama, this is something that kind of fits into it, but they've updated it. They've added it with a very strong boomer millennial slant to it, which was what I found the most fascinating about it. If you look at the older plays that I spoke about, they seem to speak more to a 1950s audience and the generational gap between them. Now what we're seeing in this play is a very updated version of that, where these parents come to visit their children in New York City, and they're coming in from the outside, so it brings in that element of the show. So it's almost like these white flight folks that had left the city are coming back into it. The millennials who had grown up outside the city are coming into it, and how that dynamic plays. You see characters who are, for example, one of the main characters named Bridget is a musician, but she's not probably a great musician. Like, she's pretty mediocre. She gets kind of like a mediocre letter of recommendation from a teacher where she's very competent, but she's not really amazing, getting lost in the city of New York. So when you see something like that, you think to yourself, okay, this is a prominent thing to a lot of millennials who often follow their passions, but when you follow a passion that lots of people follow and you're not the top 1% or so, you often get lost in that shuffle. So you see a bit of that theme there, and you see these very judgmental boomer parents talking to their kids and talking about what's going on, and without giving away too much, almost without having the real moral high ground once the situation plays itself out. You also have a sister who's going through medical problems, who's lost her job, lost her lover, and how she's trying to cope with all of those things. And you have a couple who's moved in together, but they're not exactly married. There's no third generation. There's no kids after this, which is interesting because fewer millennials are having children. So that's something that really plays into the story a bit. You have a guy who's nearly 38, but he's not married. He doesn't have kids, and he's still in school. Look at that. So, and he's a trust fund kid, or at least, he's going to be eventually. So I think they played that into it with the parents who, for the most part, are dealing with their elderly grandmother and dealing with their children as well. It's almost like there's a juxtaposition between the helplessness of the characters and who's truly helpless and who's really not there to guide their own future. So you see a bit of that, and they play a lot with the light. Sometimes the lights go out, and there's almost like this sort of spooky eeriness of being lost in the dark and in the quiet. That's played with very strongly in this production. All in the context of the family dynamic of this family that comes together for Thanksgiving to celebrate this girl moving into a new apartment. And, you know, there's not this backstory, but the idea that I got was like, you know, if I moved to New York, I'd probably have my parents come, oh, we'd love to come visit you and crash on your couch. And then we'd go see the city cheaply because we wouldn't have to pay for a hotel. And we could go check out downtown, go to like, you know, Times Square and maybe take in a museum or a show. So I don't know if that was what was going on because the parents didn't exactly stay over. But that's the kind of idea that you get from this sort of dynamic that they're showing. So very well acted. Very strong performances by this really great ensemble cast. Really enjoyed it, and as a stagecraft piece, the set was really neat because it really looked like kind of like an old apartment, maybe some of the ones I've lived in, but also kind of like some of the older apartments I've seen in Somerville, as well as I have visited friends in New York, and it's kind of like they just kind of like paint over everything white, and then they had a two-story. There was a top story and a lower story. It was almost if the building had been buzzsaw cut in half. And the bottom story of it was more like a basement with a kitchen in it, and that's kind of like where they were eating and so forth. And it was very bleak and very stark, not very well decorated, not very opulent, just like a real apartment would be. So it hit that tinge of realism there. And the lighting was very minimalistic, but realistic as well, because just about everything about this play was centered into the realism of it, despite the fact that it hit a strong surreal streak towards its end. And again, not giving away plot points, but it definitely went out of the realm of we're seeing and hearing everything, or are we? Or is something bigger going on? Is there some sort of bigger message from a higher power coming at us? And the reason why it's called The Humans ties a little bit into that. And I don't want to give that away either, but I think that it's a play that's worth seeing and checking out. It's at the Box Center now till March 25th. So have some fun and go check it out. It was great getting to see the cast. I really enjoyed the after party. Thanks for having me over there. And for those of you watching, like this video, subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time.